Hi, okay, so you probably noticed that I have started to populate my scene already, and I've got some left here, so I'm going to just cover it very briefly, but it's fairly obvious, fairly straightforward what you have to do. But with trees, it's your choice, really. I'm a bit of a manual placer. I like to manually place trees, like I've said before, and because then you get good looking trees and not these hideous flat things that, well, I've placed them already around the edges, and you can see they just look at them, they just look not good. I mean, you could have lots of variation, but it's not great. So I'm going to replace these trees manually. So I've started at the back, so I've already done some back here. There's a big gap. Okay, so now we're going to start here and literally start replacing them, because and you don't have to do one by one, just get rid of a group, just delete them literally. Go to your, you can see I've got a white box. I've not got many white box objects left now. Forget the lighting, I'm going to go through that later, because it is quite complex, but just focus on the objects that you're placing at the moment. If we come down here in our prefabs, let me see what we've got here, and we've got them here, trees. So you can start just placing your high detail trees, and once you've got a group of them together, you can just grab you can cluster them like you did with the rocks, and you can rotate them, and they just look a lot more interesting, I think, rather than just well, for one step, the actual graphic looks a lot better. They just look more convincing, more like trees with the normals on them. I mean, look at the bark, it just looks great. So that's the way you want to go, in my opinion, if you want good art. I think any artist would appreciate your artistic approach. If you're doing bark on a tree, then it's got to look like bark, not this flat. Well, this flat. That's the same tree, but you would never think so. And because we're using Unity's terrain system just to drop some around the edges, it does. That's what they come out like, as opposed to some really good looking trees like this. And you can create some mushrooms, put some mushrooms on there, and it'll look really good, really nice art. So that's what you want to do. And you can see I've placed the fallen trunk here, which is an object. So go for that, in my opinion. And you can keep putting them down. This is a dead tree, to be like this. You can fit them to the terrain as well, instead of having it sort of like if you plant it with the system, with the Unity system, you get things like this where they sort of stick out, and it just looks bad. It just doesn't work, and Unity should fix it really, so that you can have good looking trees and manually be able to manipulate them within their terrain system, rather than doing it manually. So once you've got two, you can just grab two, go into your viewer here, and right click and duplicate, and now you've got another two quite quickly. Yeah, right, it does take a bit more time than normal, but like I said before, it's so worth it. It's just, the rewards are a lot more satisfying as an artist. And then you can just rotate these, move them around, so they don't look the same. This one here's not quite right. Just move it, just rotate it, bring it out of the ground. There we go. Yeah, okay. The temptation as an artist to rush things, to get it done, I want trees now, and to paint splodges of trees everywhere is not good. In this scene, I will paint a lot of trees down, just so when I upload this scene, you can see them. You can see the difference. So, they're good for populating large areas, like I said before, where you can't see. And there's one there that I've placed, obviously. So it's It's just legacy. I'll get rid of that. In fact, I'm going to do that now. So I'll go to my terrain, go to my tree thing, come down here and click on delete, gone. So I just held shift and clicked on where the tree was, and now it's gone. And now I can just maybe get my birch tree and put it there instead. Far more interesting. Let's move that down, so it's in the ground. Nothing's sticking up. No, maybe I'll just tilt that out to make it look a bit interesting. Because of the bank slopes down, it's just more interesting. I think it's great. There you go. Look at that. It's far better than these hideous Unity trees. And if Unity fixes it, I should do another video and use it accordingly. So I'm going to just go through, delete these. Now you don't need them in your scene, so you can go through and delete them all. There's two on top of each other. That was never good. There we go. And they populate this area with good looking trees. Okay, so let's just I've got a dead tree here, you could put it next to there. Like I said, be careful about putting grass down before you do trees, because you don't want to put grass down where you can see I've not done it up through here. Don't put grass down where where there is going to be trees, because you don't want it all hidden away. It's just wasted. So let's just grab these and right click in there, duplicate, and you'll see they all appear down here. Move them all down. So you could cover quite big areas like this just on its own. And they are different trees. I've got a few different trees in here. And then you just go in and just tweak them. That actually, I want to rotate out so it follows the contour of the terrain much better. So it looks like it's been influenced by the terrain rather than, or it has influenced the terrain rather than just being plopped on top. It's not good. I keep saying that, so I've got to stop saying that about Unity's tree engine. But like I say, when they fix it, I will come back and I will redo this video and previous tree videos, so that it's up to date and reflective of the current status of Unity. So that's all this is really. It's just what Unity's like at the moment. So it doesn't take long, and it's a lot more rewarding, like I said. So it looks far more convincing, in my opinion. But that's, like I said, it's my opinion. So just rotate that around like that. Let's just, you can tell when it's sticking out of the ground because the orange edges are not transparent, like that's underground, that line is not. So you just want to make sure that they are just being just whiz around and have a look at them all and make sure whiz around and look at all the edges so you can see if it's under the ground or not. You know it's sticking out, that's the worst thing. Okay, so yeah, these can be replaced. So delete. So we can duplicate that because it's that rock that I placed essentially, and this is just a high detail textured version. Just rotate it, move it to place, and this is just about level design, really, making your scene look nice aesthetically using the existing assets that you've created. And you can see I've placed this tree here actually, which is slanting. So I need to replace, let's put in, I've got to do more trees. I haven't done enough really, so you need at least a dozen. I'll say a dozen different trees to make it really interesting, this kind of environment. So I'll do some more for you guys. So let's just put this one here so that looks like it's leaning in that tree. Let's just bring it down. There we go. And that's nice having that rock right underneath it. Make sure it's not the same orientation as that, which it almost is. So let's just rotate that because you don't want any sort of repetition there. Let's bring it round like that. There you go. Like there. See, now it looks like it's falling into that tree and it's propping it up, which is quite nice. And it's looking like a nice little sort of tunnel. Let's do some, let's quickly just populate this with grass. So if we go to our grass, let's do some mixed grass, that's always good. So see, even this stuff you can do it strategically. Like in this open area here, you can put a lot of this down. Shrink that around the edges. But where you got this mud here, you can do maybe do some dead grass. So be strategic on where you place your grass. Don't just think about it. What would happen in a real forest, in a real terrain? Where would you go? Don't just go sweep and just sweep it down, because it's not. You'd be surprised at what difference it makes when you concentrate and you you do what nature really would do, because it looks more convincing. Your brain goes, yeah, I accept that, and it's far more interesting, in my opinion, to look at than just randomly dropped stuff in the environment. I've got different grasses here which I'm sort of mixing up. Let's give it a bit more interesting look. See, where I've painted the dirt on my ground, I don't want this grass because it will stick out like a sore thumb. It just won't look right. But if I get my dead grass and put it down there, it looks like, yeah, okay, it's sort of blending in with the environment. It's quite dead area, there's not much growing there, so this grass is struggling too. It's just reflecting what's on the environment, what's on the terrain. And see, I'm avoiding this patch here a little bit. In fact, let's take some off here. So hold shift to delete, like that. And you can even line the edges with dead grass like this. So you almost like got a bit of a path. Maybe some animals have been traipsing through here and caused this. So instead of just sweeping across, which I've seen a lot of YouTubers do, take your time, and paint it as if you were painting a painting. You wouldn't do that to a painting. Just splodge. Well, some people do, I guess, but you would paint according to what you're doing. You wouldn't just. It's a bit more strategic. That's what I'm trying to say. It's a bit more thoughtful. You don't just splodge it down. You paint colours and things for a reason. And this is the same, really. It's not. It's not. Don't consider it any different. It is a form of art. So, coming up here, for example, I want to see some grass, but it's fairly dead because it's quite dry underneath this tree. Let's put some dead grass on here. Let's do some more of this mixed grass and then some dead grass up along here. There we go. Right, now we can just go through.